Yo, 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 Big Catch back up in here. Looks like we got some new information on the Drake and XXXTentacion situation. We got brought to us the Riz channel. The Rizzle channel is bringing us this video, ladies and gentlemen. Footage confirms that Drizzle, ordered a hit on XXX. He was at the scene. Wow. Let's get into this, y'all. Y'all not going to want to click off this video. The link will be in the description. Y'all know I don't like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Trayvon Newsom in this case. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree as charged in the indictment. During the course of the crime committed, did the defendant, Trayvon Newsom, actually possess a firearm? Yes. Count two, we the jury find as follows: as to the defendant, Trayvon Newsom in this case, the defendant is guilty of armed robbery as charged in the indictment.
As for Robert Allen, the one who cooperated with authorities and pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, he got a reduced sentence. 5 1/3 years in prison, followed by 20 years of probation. Some might call him the snitch, but his testimony helped lock in those convictions.
Who made a comment to you about your testimony?
Trayvon Newsom.
Point him out and identify him in the courtroom as to who you're referring to that made some comments to you.
Second. Yeah, in a blue suit.
Okay, there's two people wearing a blue suit. What race is he?
Black.
And is he seated on the end, middle? Okay. And who is that you're pointing out to?
Trayvon Newsom.
Your Honor, please let the court identify any court identification of Trayvon Newsom in this case for this matter.
Now, this wasn't just a random robbery gone wrong. It was calculated and cold. These guys followed X, waited for the perfect moment, and executed their plan.
And the way they was looking at these guys, it was like, damn, these guys look funny, man. They were like, what are they doing in here? What are they doing? He know he's a rapper. He got a bag full of money. They felt it, bro. They had to feel it, man.
But what makes this case hit even harder is the potential gang ties that were brought up in court. While the judge ruled out some of those connections, many believe there's still more to the story. X was only 20 years old and his life was just getting started. His death wasn't just a loss for his family and friends, it sent shockwaves through the music world and his massive fan base. This case reminds us of how quickly things can spiral out of control and the lengths some people will go for money and power. But at least justice was served and the people responsible will spend the rest of their lives behind bars. Now, Dedrick's lawyers are claiming there's way more to this story. They're basically saying the investigation brushed past certain leads, like, oh, I don't know, Drake, and that Dedrick ended up being the scapegoat. Let's not forget that there were rumors swirling about some tension between X and Drake before X's death. And now, Dedrick's team is determined to make sure that gets more attention. Honestly, it's giving a feeling like there's a plot twist that we didn't see coming, but is there any truth to it? So here's the scoop. One of the big sticking points is tied to Drake. The lawyer is focusing on how defense witnesses were handled, and let's just say the prosecution wasn't playing fair. Back in 2020, Dedrick's lawyer submitted a list of witnesses he wanted to call, but the prosecution tried to block all of them. The judge didn't allow that, but told Dedrick's lawyer he needed to
You got to ask yourself, why are they blocking this stuff? Why are they blocking this?
explain how each witness supported his defense. The lawyer said this was shady because it forced him to show his strategy to the other side. Messy, right? Here's where it gets juicy. The defense is pointing to an old social media post from X himself, where he said, "If I get killed, it's champagne poppy." In case y'all didn't know, that's Drake's Instagram handle.
Damn.
Not only that, but X also had beef with other rappers connected to Drake, like 600 Breezy and Toronto rapper Top 5. And let's not forget DJ Academics, one of X's close friends, who spilled all kinds of tea on this drama. Academics even claimed X talked about his issues with Drake and made some spicy comments about Drake's mom.
Well, I think it was like the street element.
Yeah, exactly. But the street element only goes so far. You know what I'm saying? And I say that respectfully, because I don't want brother to feel like, you feel me, like I'm stepping on his toes. You feel me? But regardless of anything, there was origin behind what I was doing.
I feel like you guys both like
Speaking of academics, X once sent him a pic of a Drake lookalike with some shady captions and told him to post it. But academics was urging him not to play with Drake like that. After the warning came through to X, the post came down, and X claimed his account got hacked. Dedrick's lawyer wanted academics' testimony locked in because he doesn't live in the US and might not show up in person, but the court only allowed a basic deposition. Imagine missing all the drama he could have spilled in court. X's mom, Cleopatra Bernard, also had something to say. She testified that X and Drake had real beef, like legit tension. She even claimed Drake threw subliminal shots at X in his lyrics. Plus, she talked about X's run-ins with the Migos.
Don't think Drake couldn't have been paying off Ack to get information, to like befriend XXX, like acting like he his friend, but really not.
Including a violent clash, and how 600 Breezy showed up in Florida, posting online about being strapped. She was so worried she talked to X about hiring extra security the day he was killed. But it gets even messier. After being subpoenaed, Drake brought in a heavy-hitter lawyer, Brad Cohen, to block the deposition. Brad wasn't playing. He filed motions to keep Drake out of it, and after a lot of back and forth, the judge completely flipped. Dedrick's lawyer wanted to show video evidence of Drake's staff rejecting the subpoena. Like, they literally kicked it down the road near Drake's house. But nope, the judge sided with Drake's team, blocked the deposition, and tossed the subpoena. Talk about star power working in your favor. Dedrick's lawyer was heated. He argued that the system was shutting down any chance of building a solid defense. Even though X's mom confirmed the beef was real, the court ignored it, and Drake's name got scrubbed from the witness list. The lawyer claimed this was totally unfair, especially since Drake isn't just any celeb, he's Drake. Let's be real, that level of fame might have influenced the judge's decision. So, one of the biggest bombshells in the appeal centers around this gang expert, Dr. Jesse De La Cruz, who came with receipts that could have shaken the whole case. Apparently, Dr. De La Cruz had visual evidence connecting Drake to the same gang as one of the co-defendants, Robert Allen. Like, yes, we're talking about photos of Drake throwing gang signs that matched Allen's. And get this, Drake's crew allegedly had people lurking around X's neighborhood, throwing out threats just before X was killed. But wait, it gets messier. The defense wanted Dr. De La Cruz to unpack all this, along with some eyebrow-raising Drake lyrics. You know that track, I'm Upset? Well, the line SMS XXX, that's the only time I shot below the neck, had people side-eyeing Drake.
Damn. Wow. End up getting loose and getting pictures from my XXXX SMS XXX. That's the only time you ever... Boy, come on, bro. Come on, man. And y'all putting YSL on trial for their lyrics. What's going on with this? This is cut and dry right here.
Hard. And then in Mob Ties, he drops Louis bags for body bags, which the defense thought was a little too on the nose. Guess what? The judge wasn't having it. Dr. De La Cruz's testimony was shut down, while the prosecution got their own gang expert to testify instead. Make it make sense. The defense was like, how is this fair? But the court wasn't budging. They even tried to bring up Drake and Lil Wayne flashing gang signs and photos, and threw in that whole situation with Toronto rapper Top 5 claiming he was Drake's shooter on social media. Now, the defense wasn't saying Drake pulled the trigger, but they were pointing out the whole gang vibe surrounding these entertainers. But surprise, surprise, the jury didn't get to hear any of this. Y'all, the courtroom games didn't stop there. X's mom spilled some major tea during her testimony, saying she was super worried when 600 Breezy traveled down to Florida because things were already tense with X's beefs. The defense thought that they needed to dive into this gang stuff, but the court kept playing defense block. When they tried to question Robert Allen, the snitch of the century, about his dad's shady dealings, like drug connections and supplying one of the guns used in the murder, the judge slammed the brakes. Even though Allen admitted his dad was involved, the defense wasn't allowed to push further. Talk about sketchy. And let's circle back to Drake, because the state's attorney brought him up while questioning Detective Kershaw. They flat out asked if there was any evidence connecting Drake to the case. Kershaw said they tried verifying Drake's location during the murder by creeping on his Instagram. Like what? Even the defense was like, why were y'all checking Drake's socials if he wasn't a person of interest? The tea here is that Drake was a person of interest, but the investigation into him was weak and basically relied on Instagram stalking. Here's the thing, Migos popped up in this case early on. A month after X's murder, Robert Allen mentioned Migos during a convo with Detective Kershaw. But guess what? The defense wasn't allowed to really dig into this in court. This wasn't some last-minute plot twist. Drake and Migos' names were in the mix for years before the defense officially brought them into their theory. The defense argued that their client didn't get a fair trial, claiming they weren't allowed to fully explore the connections or present the evidence they had. They said the whole situation felt like the court was trying to keep things as quiet as possible. Oh, and let's talk about Detective Kershaw, because there's drama there too. The defense called out the fact that Kershaw gave expert-level opinions on cell phone data when no one from Broward County County had been listed as a forensic expert. Like, isn't there a process for that? Expert witnesses have to be officially declared so both sides can prepare. But nah, Curzio and another guy were just out here dropping expert takes, and one of them even whipped up a visual aid a week before testifying. The defense was heated, calling this unfair and totally unprofessional. At the end of the day, the defense's argument was simple. The trial was a hot mess. Between shutting down key testimony, blocking witnesses, and letting the prosecution slide with moves the defense couldn't pull, they felt their client didn't stand a chance. It's a shady vibe if you think about it. There could be some kind of cover-up going on here. One thing is for sure, there's more to this story than what they let us see.
Damn. That's wild, bro. That is wild. That is wild. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this, man. I will leave a link in the description. Man, listen, bro. Ain't no way that judge was shutting all of that down without him getting paid by somebody or looking at Drake like, wow, he got UMG behind him? Okay, I know those guys at UMG. Let me go and look out for him. Let me go and shut down. The proof is right there for us. I mean, come on. It needs to go down. It needs to go down. We got to get this guy off the street. It's like, nah, I'm bullshit. Y'all let me know what y'all think of the video, man. We'll leave a link in the description. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.